Silence in the box.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. Welcome to the next installment of the AOR Formula League, Super Formula League, if I can get the right words out in the right order. Season number 2 here at the home of British Motorsport. It is Silverstone. My name is King Kodiak. I'm one of your commentators for tonight's festivities. We're glad to be back once again. Joining me in the commentary box, always happy to say, is the one and only Nick Domino. How are you today, good sir?
I am great. We are back at one of the greatest tracks in the world, and especially in the UK. We do have some rather non-British weather out there. It is sunny outside, so but this is a great track, and especially with these type of cars.
Yes. And Silverstone is such a great circuit. You call me biased? Well, I'll take that one. But the championship standings are looking very, very hot now. Eric Vizzi still leads the way, 223 points at the top of the table. But newcomer Chris Rosenkrantz is really hot on his heels, taking 5 straight wins and only having difficulty in the second race in Long Beach, putting an end to that particular run. So only the top 2 taking wins so far this season. Right behind them, Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen and Jason Green. They are very close on points, just not even 10 points apart. Even closer still is Jean-Peter Under in 5th, with Tom van Hooyman in 6th. Rudy Arvidsson 7th. Kees van Leeuwen with one of my favourite liveries in the field in 8th, with Ivan Haugland and David Gaspers rounding out the top 10. So then, Mr. Domino, what are your thoughts and experiences here at Silverstone?
So my thoughts is this is a driver's track. It's the ebbs and flows around here are amazing, and with these cars, this is definitely a track for high downforce. With and it's an old school track, so it's a track where if you go off, you really go off. And as we see here, the championship leader going around, getting down into Stowe. Yeah. So this is one of the tracks that actually have, now we are into Vale, that actually have some names as we like them to have. Getting in now into Club Corner, he is starting the lap on the new track layout. Getting down here into Abbey, this is a flat out corner in these high downforce cars, not even a corner almost. Turn 2 here, brake really hard. You have to be so careful on such a curb, but you have to go all the way to the right so you can get this left corner. It's such a difficult corner to get the traction out of. Now into next corner, flat out going down the straight here, and you're just flat out. Now you can just get a sense of the speed here. A long corner left and then into the right, and you're so close here, getting a bit outwards, getting as quickly onto the throttle as you can, and you're just maxed out on the downforce and on the grip at this point in time with the tires here. Almost flat. Didn't keep it quite. They don't have as much downforce as the Formula 1 cars. Into Magnussen Beckett's right here. This is flat the first part. You're slowing off, down a gear, down 2 gears, full throttle. Get as much of the left curve as you can. Now here down, use all of the track as you can. Now down into Stowe again. This is so long corners and such high downforce. where these cars can really stretch their legs into the large gainers again here. Be careful with the curbs because they will kill you if you hit them. Oh, a little bit of a spin there at the end, but the tires, they get on, and that's a lap around Silverstone, and Eric is taking pole position.
136.254 Caesar, championship leader, towards the top of the field with everyone else just finishing their laps. It's a single lap run for the sprint race. It is a 3-lap quali run for the feature race. Well, where are people going to go? All eyes on Chris Rosenkrantz for challenging that top spot. He seems to be lagging in and out of existence. He is coming through Maggots and Beckett's at the moment, but has he completed? Well, he was either very late on circuit or he's
been very late out, but he still have 42 seconds to actually finish his lap. So
should be enough from there to finish his lap. Wow, we actually have a new top spot. Jon Peter Runde has taken the top spot. Currently 5th, our second Norwegian, you could say, in the championship behind Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen. But what can Chris Rosenkrantz say? Wow, he is lagging heavily. That's unusual. We didn't see so much of that last time around. But where will his time be? We're going to have to wait for his lag to settle down to answer that. And it was, I wonder, was that invalid? I think it was invalid.
It might have been.
It may well have been an invalid lap. He did seem to cut quite heavily coming through Woodcut on the exit of Luffield, I noticed. As Evan Imre, I don't think he's got a lap on the board, but the qualifying is done. And pole for the sprint race is Jon Peter Runde. What a great turnaround there. Eric Vizzi in second. Fernando Cruz Sanchez in third. Kees van Leeuwen fourth. Jason Green fifth. Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen in sixth place. Rudy Arvidsson in seventh. Frederick Beckman in eighth. Elliot Anderson ninth. And so Chris Rosenkrantz did get a time on the board, but it was only good enough for 10th.
No, it's actually invalid. It's invalid.
Oh, no, beg your pardon. Yes, you're quite right.
Time.
So only 9 cars got a valid time on the board. That's why he starts in 10th position with Evan Emre and Jack Colville taking on row 6th, 11th and 12th. Jerry Hodge and Philip Kipp. Have we seen Philip before? That's a name I'm not... So we have seen Philip a few races, yes, but I think this is the first time I've seen Philip Kipp because he was from Austria, which I wasn't part of. With Andres Ansu and Adri Garcia rounding out our 16-car field for this event. Ooh, well, we have a bit of a mixed grid here. Overtaking is not impossible by any stretch here in Silverstone. So I expect lots of fighting, particularly from Chris Rosenkrantz, starting, midfield really, but starting from 10th place. Well, considering the pace we've seen from him thus far, that really is a surprise.
It definitely is, and mixing up the championship and making it a little bit interesting. This is really where Vizzy has to do everything he can to maximize this opportunity. We have seen Chris just going over the field and winning all of the races he has participated in, but we haven't really seen him fight through the field. So that's a new challenge for him.
Well, there was only one race that Chris has been in that he didn't win, and that was the feature race at Long Beach last time out. But enough of that now, as the griddy is done, the engine revs rise, it is time to wind him up and let him go, and that's a terrible start from, oh dear, we've got damage going on already, someone's missed a gear, whatever it is, but it's a storming start from Eric Vizzi, shoots through into the lead from Jon Peter Runde. Excellent start there, but who was it that has had a bad start? Not entirely certain. There's Chris Rosenkrantz in the middle of a 3Y coming through into Village, now down towards the loop. Got to be very, very careful. I think that's Garcia on the outside line, who started from the back row, challenging the German as they're coming through entry onto the Wellington Straight. Still side by side. Germany versus Spain. Along towards Brooklands. Inside line will favour initially, but then it's Luffield, but Rosenkrantz does get back up into 10th place. That's a Jason Green, you see in the very green machine on the inside line of Luffield, but he loses out as well to the black. I believe that is was that Sanchez that's fallen all the way down from third?
It was Sanchez who had a horrendous start. Somebody went
very, very well.
Yeah, into the next state right there. That was incredible, getting all the way off. But what a start! But we got all of them through. So it is Visi who has actually taken the P1 and John P2. So now it's just getting away, and hope they will hope that Chris will get stuck behind some of these drivers, as he is now getting up to Jake, and he's looking into it, like just staying behind for now. Not at the start. This is definitely where you can make the mistake that kills the race, but you know, it's you need to get by, and right now he's just biding his time, getting the positions in safer manners. I think. Ooh, Philip went way off there, but he got back on the track. Oh, that's a log up.
Wow.
That's a log up.
Very, very, very late
and now
on the brakes there.
Ooh, we have somebody off. That is
Ludwin,
who's been off, as Chris is now getting more positions.
He's gaining
a little bit of look what. Oh, he tried to defend. Oh, he's just being no. Has he got a problem, I wonder, because he's just no gas there at all. Oh, he wouldn't have had a penalty of some kind, I wouldn't have thought, but well, that if he might have been off in Abbey, that he could have gotten slowed down.
Oh yes, because early on the cut track penalties are absolutely brutal, aren't they?
Yeah,
so
yeah, they are.
iRacing could have deemed he's got an advantage. But look at this, John Petterunda. That's he has had a few good results in the season thus far. He's been third quite a few times. Wasn't with us at Long Beach last time out. He's now on Eric Vizzi's tail with quite a gap behind him to Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen. So he's not under immediate pressure. So Petterunda can just concentrate on trying to attack for that top spot. Bear in mind, this is the sprint race. You can see the timer in the top left-hand corner of your screen. So you don't have very long to get the moves done and make them stick. And our top two are dancing off into the distance. Now, we've been used, certainly for the last few rounds, for that being Eric Vizzi and this man, Chris Rosenkrantz, who is now attacking outside line, coming through farm, is attacking Fred Beckman for 6th position, which he does manage to do. Can Beckman do anything on the outside? Certainly not there, down in the loop. So he's going to have to settle for that. Hopefully that lag isn't too disastrous for Rosenkrantz. There's Keith Van Leeuwen, so he is back up to speed again. I'm guessing exactly as you say, Nick, the cut track penalty is really, really hurting, because he's started very well, but has just plummeted in this early stage of the race.
Oh, definitely. And right now he is getting a little bit of pressure from Fernando del Cruz Sanchez, who is getting closer. He overtook just Jason Green before, who has had a horrendous first couple of corners here. So a lot of battle up through as that's going side by side. Wow.
Wow.
Decided to go through and overtake Jerry in to Maggots and Beggars. That's not a place that you can overtake, guys. It's not a place you can overtake.
No.
Let's see here. Oh, he went out.
He just had the pace advantage coming out of Cops.
Wow.
And just sailed around. Jerry had no answer to that. He probably didn't expect the move to come, but Chris has such overspeed from Cops that he just carried that momentum forward. But he's got to make the moves quickly, because he doesn't have long to try and oh, that's a spin in the background. Oh, that was a spin heading towards the wall, just coming over the line. Now, who was that, I wonder?
Well, I think it is Philip. Oh, and he hit the sausage curve, and that's a hard hit. Wow, that car exploded on impact. And
so not only is his spine now catapulted into orbit because of hitting that sausage curb, but yeah, the car just detonated there, and there it is. And that's the same replay that we just it's not someone else doing the same thing. That's Philip Kipp, unfortunately, ending his race very early on. Rosenkrantz already up into 4th place. He's gotten past Alderson, so he's on an absolute charge. This was rather what we were expecting. Chris showed us, and he obviously had the pace, but just didn't get it hooked up during qualifying. But look how much of a disadvantage that's put him at. Chris Rosenkrantz is, what is he, 7-8 seconds behind these two?
Yeah, definitely. He is, let's say, says 7.6 seconds behind the leader. So that's quite a lot on 13 minutes left of this race, and I think he's gonna look at trying to see if he can get up onto the podium with trying to get closer to Mikkelsen, who's stable up here on the third place. He at the early round were looking to be the fastest Norwegian, but John has definitely taken that title away from him in these extremely great looking cars. So as he is really piling on the pressure here, he's not letting Visi go, and we saw Visi in last time around really push Chris at the beginning of the stints, but when they got later on, something definitely lost positions of as they're battling further down as well. It's a tight battle here between Cruz and Lloydvin. They are getting really close here, and Fernando needs to... Oh, somebody went off. It's Frederick Beckman on the front. Oh, just be careful with those front noses. You can so easily cut that nose off and getting that front wing off. And if you lose that front wing, you lose... Oh, be careful! On the outside into Gubs. Wow.
Oh, someone's taking their bravery pills today. Oh, wow. What a move from Keith Van Leeuwen.
He is having extra weight on with the balls on him right there. Wow. What
concrete cojones in the McLaren flavored car. That was, I mean, you saw the flashing green light. For those unfamiliar, the green light on the roll hoop indicates the push to pass is being used. But here comes Fernando Cruz Sanchez. Oh, gets the inside line. Gets a bit of a wiggle on the exit of Stowe. But yeah, when it's flashing rapidly, as we are now looking at Fernando, he is deploying the push to pass. When it's flashing slowly, it's on cooldown, and when the light is steady, it's ready to deploy once again. It does take, it's a minute, isn't it, or something like that, from when it stops being used to cool down.
Yes.
So yeah, they can't just constantly use it. They do have to think about when they're going to deploy it. They don't think about it so much in the sprint race because it's nearly impossible for them to exhaust the entire allocation of push to pass, but not so much in the feature race. They do have to think about it a bit more. There is a limited use of the push to pass. As we continue to look at Fernando Cruz Sanchez on the back of Keith Van Leeuwen, they're coming into Brooklands now. Oh, that's a very deep there from the car behind, which is Beckman. A little bit deep.
Yeah, we saw him there last time as well, and he's just had his race is just going from bad to worse. He's getting now into the clutches of John Green here. So, that's on the outside again. Look, those cojones. He went on the outside once again.
Wow.
No, be careful on the back. Oh,
good God.
Cruz just thought, guys, we can definitely look at that pass. So he's here getting the overspeed, going on to the outside into cops, and yeah, I've done it once, I can do it twice.
Yeah, I've demonstrated my concrete nuts once, and I will do it again. So he knew his car would stick because it stuck last time, but you're then relying on the fact that the guy you're passing doesn't just understeer into you. And Jerry was the one deploying his push to pass as well. He must have had quite a bad run out of Luffield and Woodcote by the time he got there.
Yeah, I think Lloydvin might have done it a bit early on, so he had the overspeed, as the fastest lap has actually now just gone to John Root, getting closer to VC as well.
Indeed. So, and that gap is increasing between these two and Tremino Mikkelsen behind. Chris Rosenkrantz is closing in on the number 6 car to potentially challenge for third, but the gap between him and these two may well be insurmountable, even for Rosenkrantz. But we will see. As there, he's cutting that line on the run through through Woodcote, beg your pardon. Magnus and Beckett's for these two. John Petterunda isn't benefiting too much from downforce because he's in the dirty air of Eric Vizzi, who's sweeping through these turns. Now Chapel, and then on to the Hanger Straight. Is John Petterunda going to size up a move here? Push to pass being used on both cars. So it's essentially nullifying the advantage that any one of them would have. One to trying to attack, one trying to defend with the push to pass going on. Now the car behind doesn't know if the car ahead is actually using push to pass. As Keith Van Leeuwen is sizing up a move coming down into Stowe. Nicely done. Very traditional move there. Inside line. Don't wander off too wide. Keeps the car on the black stuff. That's 5th place to the McLaren flavored car.
He is having one of his greatest races of the season here, Leuven, and it's a race of what if he didn't lose all of those positions at the beginning of the race, but we are happy with it because then we have seen the cojones on the guy with those two beautiful passes on the outside of Cops. But we are having quite a good amount of battles up and down the field, and this is quite a huge gaggle of cars here. They are really close, and yes, you said, you're not really having the benefit of the downforce when you're being this close, and it's something that can hurt the tires. But the drivers, I believe, are actually able to see if you're if you're behind, because the rain light will flash as well if you're using.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the rain
I
light.
do believe that, yeah. But John has actually just posted the fastest lap of the race again this time. But the battle of P3 is heating up as well, as Chris is getting very close to Alexander.
Okay, so what can Chris Rosenkrantz do? How is he going to size up the moves? He's got a few laps to do it. As we've seen, it is around about 1.5 minutes per lap. And he's going for the inside line coming down into Vam. Now that looked a little bit very much, I think that position was surrendered.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any opposition there offered by Tremino Bickhausen. You realistically know who you're in a battle with, and I think he saw Rosenkrantz coming and thought, it's going to cost me more time. All due respect, he probably thought he was going to lose that position anyway, so may as well just make it happen. And on they go. And again, you don't want to take each other off and risk losing a strong position. So decided to surrender that. However, 5 laps to go, as you can see on the tower. John Peterunde is in the tire tracks of Eric Vizzi. So we will see what he is able to do at this point. But what a great traction there from Luffield. Potentially was to push to pass. I mean, if the rain light is flashing, I can't see it from this particular view, if that is the case. But John Peterunde not being dissuaded from the tail of Eric Vizzi as we now work our way through Beckett towards Chapel Curve. So without any immediate trouble behind, 8 seconds separates these two from Chris Rosenkrantz. He hasn't really closed in an awful lot on the top two, but that could be because he realizes that there's no point pushing so hard to try and close in a near insurmountable gap to run the risk of bidding a podium finish. So Rosenkrantz on from the finish. Oh, that was John Peterunde. It was a bit deep coming into the Vale chicane. That's going to compromise his run through Club. So if he was sizing up a move on Eric Vizzi, that may well be a little bit compromised. Through Abbey into Farm. He's too far back to make a move into Village. But Eric Vizzi is well aware that the Norwegian is there, and he will be very, very conscious of the fact that he will have to defend, particularly close to when the checkered flag falls.
Yeah, and one of the things that we don't know is actually if these guys have the measure of Chris on this track. Oh, as he's trying to go onto the outside here. Wow, he's getting very, very close, and for Vizzi to be defending it. Wow, he's feeling the pressure here, but he has been battling with some of the greats last season as well, where we saw him for a half an hour defending vigorously from a lot of drivers around Spa as well. So he is definitely one of the more difficult guys to get by. Oh, that's a great camera shot of these two cars just cutting it through the air and being on the edge of what downforce can provide, and they are just having a great battle without actually even overtaking, but they're just so close, and the tension, you can cut the tension with a knife here.
Absolutely. So wow, Eric is He's deployed his push to pass on the exit of Chapel there to basically utilize the straight as much as he can, but it hasn't really given him anything. It's just punched a big hole in the air for Jean Peterunda to utilize to stay in the tire track, stay on the diffuser of Eric Vizzi. 3 laps to go. This fight is not diluting at all. Will this be an opportunity for, well, it certainly is an opportunity for John Peterunda to stand on the top step of the podium. He has seen the podium 4 times in this season, all of them thirds. Wasn't with us last time out at Long Beach. Or was this an opportunity here? Again, push to pass being utilized by Eric Vizzi in a defensive capacity that just gained him nothing. I mean, you could argue it denied the opportunity for John Peterunda to actually attack. But whilst these two are, squabbling with each other, it is allowing Chris Rosenkrantz to close in a bit, but the gap is insurmountable, I think. Unless these two come together, well, that's a whole different matter. Riding on board then with our second place car, John Peterunda challenging as hard as he can. Well, the fastest lap, the last lap around, I should say, was Eric Vizzi. So Eric able to at least push when he needs to try and keep Jean Peterunda behind.
But he has been using that push to pass throughout this entire lap, so he might actually be close to getting or running out of it. So it's interesting if John is having more in the tank here at the end. Because Vizzi is not getting away from him, and that is gonna be the factor for John. He is really hanging on here with Vizzi using the push to pass, and but he needs to not get too far away, and he seems to be a bit faster in some part of the track, as the fastest lap has now actually gone to Eric Vizzi. He has done a 35.9, so they are really fast. As we have had an off track here, something has happened in the background. It is Jerry. Oh, he's hitting one of the Verstappens, and that's every day of the week gonna throw your car into the air and you are off the track and spinning, and they are so brutal to hit those trips there. As he's now using his push to pass, he is trying to see if he can get closer, and I just saw, did I see it was red at the top of Eric Vizzi's
wow.
Yeah, it is red. He is running out of it. He is out. He has none. He is out of push to pass. This is John's time. This is now with 2 laps to go. Or have VC gotten it correct? Has the overlay calculated wrong? No, we have still 51 seconds on. So we will have 1 more lap here as they're getting into the last 2 corners, into Glob here, onto the straight on the last time here. So this is the final lap. We have the white flag.
Well. I don't think I've ever seen all the push to pass used in a spin race before. I've seen it go down to red, but I don't think I've seen it go out. So that's how much pressure Eric Vizzi is feeling. 35.7 flat for Jean Peterunda last time around. It's push to pass still going on. This is a great opportunity. Will the push to pass last long enough? You see Eric going for that defensive posture, coming down into Brooklands. Oh, and John Peterunda tried to wrong foot Eric Vizzi. I mean, good luck with that. Eric, they've come together. Oh no, John Peterunda trying to go the outside line around Luffield, bounces off of Eric Vizzi. Where's Rosenkrantz? There he is. Oh no, you don't want to see it. But, well, nothing against John Rosenkrantz. I mean, you don't want to see an impact. Look at this again. Oh, that is such a shame. This was a prime opportunity for John Peterunda to potentially challenge for that top spot.
Wow, and it's just, this is just understeering into him. There's nothing he can really do there. It's a difficult corner to overtake in the best of times. But he did everything he could on the last lap to try and see if he could get that P1. He threw everything that he had for it. Wow. And unfortunately that happened there, but the winner of this first race is Eric Vizzi, who will take maximum points in the sprint, and Chris Rosenkrantz will take P2, and then John
from
will
10th.
from 10th, and John will be gutted with P3.
He will absolutely be gutted with P3. It was still a podium, but he was looking really strong for that top spot. Now a stream of cars all coming over the line. We're seeing Jason Green coming over for 10th position. There's Adri Garcia, who started pretty well, as chasing home John Colville in the well, yes, I made my feelings clear about that livery. I won't do so again. So I think only 13 cars made it. Yeah, here it is again. So well, there wasn't really anything Eric Vizzi did wrong there. He's on the inside line. He can't turn any harder. Can we ride on board with Eric Vizzi on that one?
Yeah, we definitely can here. So if we go here,
whilst we wait for the next qualifying session to begin. So here it is again. Look how hard he's already turning.
Yeah.
He's scrubbing off speed. He can't really turn any harder than that. And he was already counter steering coming into Brooklands. So then he's already turning hard. I don't want to say it, but I think Petarunda just turns in too early.
Yeah.
Doesn't, but I mean, in the heat of the moment, I totally understand. And that denied, right on board with John Petarunda. I mean, he was holding his line as well. He wasn't actually turning in.
For me, it's just a racing incident.
It's a racing incident, yeah.
And it's just an aggressive move that, it's a 50-50 move at best in that corner. And
I would agree. I would agree. A purely racing incident, but without any steward's intervention, this is how the sprint race standings look. Eric Vizzi taking the top win by quite a margin in the end from Chris Rosenkrantz. John Petarunda challenged for the top spot, but came home in third in the end. Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen fourth, Keith Van Leeuwen fifth, Fernando Cruz Sanchez in sixth, Elliot Anderson seventh, Frederick Beckman in eighth, Evan Imre started outside of the top 10, finishing ninth in the end. Jason Green rounds out the top 10. Jerry Hodge in 11th, Jack Colville 12th, Andres Ansu in 13th, Adri Garcia 14th. We lost Rudy Arvidsland and Philip Kipp in the course of the race. Well, that was a dramatic end to our sprint race. We're not done yet, though. We have a qualifying session, a 3-lap qualifying session to conclude to decide the grid for our sprint race. No, we've done that one. For our feature race. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Silverstone for the feature race of Season 2 of the iRacing Super Formula League here at Apex Online Racing. King Kodiak here alongside Nick Domino. What a somewhat spicy end to the sprint race we enjoyed, and we have the feature race to come up. I'm looking forward to this one, I know that much.
I am as well. What an ending to a race, and what drama as well with the crash or love tap that Visi gave Rude there at the end of the race. He was under pressure the entire time, and as we call it, we called it a racing incident. And I don't know if you viewers are with us in that, but they are now going out and warming up tires, trying to set qualifying laps. And well, for me at least, I would hope that that Chris is maybe maybe trying to make it interesting for us again. It was great seeing him actually battling his way through the field.
It certainly was. I mean, even without Chris being involved in the battle for the overall win, it was still a great race for us to enjoy, as we are looking at Jean-Peter Runde on his outlap before he starts his first of 3 qualifying laps. So those unfamiliar with the setup, we're in the qualifying session. It is a solo qualifying session, so whilst everybody is out there on track, it is essentially they have their own version of Silverstone to qualify on. They will not see or be influenced by anyone else as they all do their qualifying laps. They have 10 minutes beginning of the session to set their quali laps. So it's not just the single lap shooter that we saw for the sprint race. They get 3 runs to set the best time. Again, look at the understeer that Jean-Peter Runde was getting there, coming through Stowe. So we saw these curbs claim a few lives and send a few spines off into space. But Jean-Peter Runde starting his first run then. He qualified very, very well. He qualified on pole for the sprint race. Can he do again? We will see. Abbey, Farm, now Village, first heavy braking zone of the lap. Doesn't really get close to the apex there. Wonders this lap may already be compromised, but warming everything up, ready for his final run, I would imagine. These first few laps may not necessarily be the ones that form the grid. They don't have time to come in and reshoe the car and get back out there. So it is 3 consecutive laps, realistically speaking, in the time session they have. A bit wide there. I mean, they can kind of cool down 1 lap, so to speak, but they have to set their laps before the timer expires. They don't have time to finish the lap they're on when the checker flag falls, so they've got to get their best time done before the session expires. Now, Packers and Beckett's one of the most famous corner complexes in the world. Got to be careful about wandering too wide. There is a fair amount of grass there, so it is a deterrent in itself to wander too wide through Maggers and Beckett's. Along the hanger straight into Stowe, down a couple of gears, hug that inside line, keep the car steady for the short sprint towards the Vale chicane. Then it is club corner to finish the lap. What is the opening gambit then for Jean-Peter Runde? Through the final apex, doesn't really get close to that one either. 1:36.654. We saw sub 36s in the sprint race, so there is more pace to be found as yet.
Yeah, we actually saw the fastest lap in the last round by Chris at the end there. He actually put in a 35.5, so that's a second off.
Wow.
But with these cars, they need to heat up the tires as well, so the first lap might actually not be the fastest. But Chris, he has a tendency. Oh, that's a great shot. He's really piling on with that car and just letting it hang out there and use all of that downforce. But he's starting his laps later on compared to the others. So, oh, that's a little bit of a snap there. And what will he post of a lap time? 36.4. So he is right now in provisional pole. Where is the other of our top contenders. This is Eric Visi. He's actually started later on than the other twos. But with 10 minutes, they might have different run plans. How they actually wanna get out there, and maybe the track temperature could change and stuff like that. So, but you are piling on the pressure, and that's a 36.7. So he's slower than the other twos right now.
Well, for the time being, but there's still time on the board, just under half the session remaining. It can be a little bit difficult to track the drivers when they lag, unfortunately, but a 35.9 on the board then for John Petterunda sees him to the top of the tree at the moment, and this could well be his best run. That tends to be the way it works. You either just do 3 consecutively quicker laps, or you do one, you cool down, then you go for the other one. As Kees van Duin, 38.3 on the board for him. These him, well, doesn't look like that was a valid one. Does Rosenkrantz have an answer?
Let's hope so. Let's see if he can get up there. He's that's a half a second that he needs to be faster, as he is still having a little bit of some lag moments in the qualifying. We saw him had that last time as well, so that's also why his last lap was his 7-second lap. But he is pole 35.8. Wow.
That's a very narrow margin. Look at that. Not even a tenth between himself and John Petterunda. Eric Visi, 36.7 previously. We know he can go quicker than that. So what can he do? It's all about stringing it together at the crucial time. It's delivering under pressure, which Eric Visi certainly had a lot of pressure in the sprint race. Also, he's got to bear in mind, he burnt out his entire allocation of push to pass in that sprint race, which I'm still quite boggled he managed to do. An improvement in time but not position for Eric Visi. It was a 36.1 for him. Does John Petterunda have anything more to add? Oh, an invalid lap. So no, he can't find that top spot this time to Chris Rosenkrantz. Whoa, that was a long way off. Coming through Cops. You can't quite do that corner flat, not even in these things.
See if Verleuven gets a lap. No.
30.
Oh, yes, P6.
Yes, it was. It was
yeah,
6.
P6.
Yeah, 36.9 on the board for the Raikkonen flavored car. Is anyone else still out there? Eric Visi. That's the old start finish line he's just coming past, and now heading towards Cops. What can he do? A 36.17. Oh, again, flirting with the track limits on the outside line of Cops. Baggett's and Beckett's now await. A stable car, absolutely crucial. You're forever staving off speed through this never-ending slalom. Now on to the hanger straight. Over to the left-hand side early as he can. Riding on board with our championship leader, Stowe. Down at least one gear, really hugs the apex line. When we first rode on board with Eric, we saw he didn't really get that apex at all, but he's utilizing every pixel of speed. He's on too much of the apex that time. He hit the curb. That would have definitely cost him a 10th at least, but does he find improvement? No. See, he was 2/10 down on his time. That's cemented into 3rd.
Oh, such a pain. But VC right now, you know, P3 we saw last time around as well. He is the better starter of him and John. So John has actually had the measure of VC in the qualifying, but he hasn't really in the starts, and that has been his Achilles heel here. He has lost position to VC in almost every round. So now he needs to defend it again. And Chris is just he has been out there, and he is at the moment pole. Let's see if Mikkelsen can do anything about that. He is close to the other guys, but that is not a lap time that is to write home about. He is 4th. So
and no time to set another lap. I would imagine he's done his 3 laps now anyway. So they can carry on driving until the session expires if they so choose to. But this is your grid then for the feature race. Chris Rosenkrantz taking the pole spot alongside sprint race poleman John Petterunda. Eric Visi and Alexander Tremini Mikkelsen take on row 2. Frederick Chris Sanchez started towards the back of the field in the sprint race, and Evan Imre was outside of the top 10 starting the sprint race. So a storming effort for those two starting on row 3. Elliot Anderson and Keith Van Leeuwen take on row 4 with Rudy Arvidsland, who didn't finish first the sprint race, and Jason Green rounding out the top 10. Jerry Hodge and Adri Garcia on row 11, Frederick Beckman and Philip Kipp on row 12, with Jack Colville and Andreas Ansu rounding out the field. Ooh, with a bit of a shaken up grid from what we saw in the sprint race. Now this will get interesting.
This could be really, really close, and I think we can have some great battling out there. Some of these drivers, this is their time to shine. This is different kind of mentality you have to change, because in the sprint you're just going flat out all the time. You're using push to pass as much as you can. Now they have to think about tires, tire life. They have to take a pit stop as well. You have to manage when are you gonna use your push to pass. Are you gonna defend every position, or are you maybe gonna say, all right, well, I will get this back later on. So they have to think more strategically. As I can see, iRacing is not lining it up with how the boxes are actually. That is actually hurting me a little bit. That looks horrendous.
Oh yeah, that's actually really quite bad. That's quite a long way away from. Wow. Yes. Yeah. No, on this occasion, I can actually understand you being upset by that one.
That does not look great. Let's see if we can get a...
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Well, nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. That is one thing out of the realm of our iRacing ace here, Mr. Domino. That is one thing you can't control.
No. As they are slowly gridding up here, and we are just missing the guy that will lead us away from here.
They are tormenting you by gridding up slowly.
Oh, they are. And we are having the lights on.
We are indeed. So it is time once again to wind them up. Wait for it and to let them go. And that's a terrible start from Rosenkrantz. Eric Vizzy again, storming start, and a terrible start again from Runda. So Eric Vizzy flies in the middle of the pair of them to try and claim the lead briefly. But Rosenkrantz doesn't indeed get the traction, but Eric has the inside line coming into the village. Oh, well, that's a long way off from Rosenkrantz. You don't want to be doing that in the opening laps. We saw, I've forgotten, I think it was Van Leeuwen, really got penalised heavily for doing that in the opening laps. But into the slipstream comes Eric Vizzy. Rosenkrantz defending already, nearly impact between the top two. And there is impact further back. There's Adrian Garcia that has had a bit of a moment coming out of Aintree and finds himself almost into the wall. So, unless that was Philip Kipp, that may well have been the number 8 car that had trouble. Slightly further back, there's Fernando Cruz Sanchez, who's had a great qualifying and a really good start up into 3rd.
Wow, what a start. And we just saw, as I talked about, Vizzy with those starts, he almost took both of them at the beginning of the race, but Chris just really piling on the pressure, and I actually think that Eric was so close that he had a little bit of a touch there, but John E is all the way down here, and there are a lot of battling going up down the field here. I think Luden has had a slowdown as well, as we have one of the ugliest liveries in the game, and Rudy is still on here on the track. Wow, everything, my overlay is just getting
gone absolutely bananas.
Yeah, it has gone bananas, but now they are getting across the finish line. Let's see what happened here at the beginning. It was Frederick Beckman. Ooh, that's an off. Oh, but he was not the one we had into the wall. I think that was Garcia. Oh, that's lost.
That's a very strange place. How on earth did he do that? That was quite a bizarre spin there. Evan Imre in 7th position, started in 6th, so he has lost 1 to Jerry Hodge. The American has started pretty well, but still in the tyre tracks of the from the man stateside, as we now see Rudy Arvidsland
getting past Jason Green here, the American, who is well, he's not had the greatest of weeks this time, but the field is really close around Silverstone, and this is also one of the tracks that a lot of these drivers really know. You're using it in a lot of different categories as well, so a lot of them will have raced quite a few laps around here, as John is now trying to see if he can get past Fernando Cruz Sanchez, as he is not defending that too much, and that is him up into the position, the third position. That is his position, and he will definitely try and see if he can get up to the top two, but Vizzy is losing time to the blue blinking missile in front.
Rosencrantz, ironically, when he blinks out of existence, that means he gives no aerodynamic aid to Eric Vizzy, although he's actually too far back to gain slipstream anyway. I don't think I haven't noticed you keep rolling your R's, particularly when you say Fernando Cruz Sanchez, because I can't do it. Thank you very much, Mr. Domino.
What is it that you can't? Is it the Fernando Cruz Sanchez?
I'm going to mute you. Yes, you know full well I got that. Anyway, moving on, as we are riding on board with Alexander Trimini Mikkelsen. He looks at the battle ahead of him for third position between John Runda and
Sanchez.
the man I can't say his name properly, Fernando Cruz Sanchez. So you can see how they try and open up the line coming through Cops, running over the rumble strip on that outside line, but they don't want to sail off into the sunset too much. Sweeping their way through Megas and Beggars once more, so the car will be a bit heavier than it was during the sprint race. They have to readjust to how the car feels, and also keeping, it'll be very tempting to use push to pass at every single opportunity. I think now the driver's settling into the rhythm. Oh, there's a battle behind though. That's I missed who that was with. That was for sixth position. That's Hodge and Imre. Oh, I see. So Evan having a go at the American, trying to reclaim that sixth position. The Scott on the inside coming into Vale, or on the exit of Vale, now through Club, still side by side, and they've got Elian Alderson right behind, and Evan Imre just been back into seventh, but he's lost momentum. That's Alderson on the inside line. Oh, that got a little bit uncomfortable by the look of it. So Evan actually bowed out on that early to try and get the racing line, trying to get the momentum again, but beaten down into eighth. Oh, that's too deep for Hodge, too deep for Jerry. So he's going to lose one position on the outside line coming through the loop. What's Evan going to do here? Can he capitalize on it? Yes, he can. That's Evan back up into seventh. As oh no, Jerry did actually manage to get that momentum back again. So it's an all-out scrap going on here. Arvidsland is not far behind either.
Wow, they are. It's incredible that nobody really lost any carbon fiber. Oh, that's Alan! Oh no, that's a tank slammer. That was a tank slammer, and that is a Brown moment right there. That's a pair of new pants, and he saved it without hitting the wall. As here, Mikkelsen is getting closer and closer to Cruz Sanchez, but also maybe even more important for the championship, John is getting closer to Vizzy again. These two have round two. They are not done with each other, and John he wants revenge for that. He wants that P2 definitely, as Rosencrantz is, as we have talked about before, going off into the distance. Oh, that's a really close then. Oh, Rudy oh my God, he was so close to hitting the left wheel there. So, but and that's the thing, when you're going wide in that corner, you're just getting onto the track so violently because you're so much on the edge of what the car can do, and then it makes it this extremely violent rejoin as Jerry is locking up left, right, and center once again. Oh, as we have Mikkelsen going onto the inside here. Is that a pass for P4?
It was a go, wasn't it? Oh, Fernando Cruz Sanchez only just had enough momentum to defend that. So that was a good use of push to pass there, but he's gone too wide. So that was opportunity for Alexander Tremini-Michelsen to try and claim that position. Inside line for the next two. He's going to have the inside line for Kops as well, but that compromises his line. Fernando Cruz Sanchez maintained his momentum, heading towards Magnus and Beckett, and how close was that? Just manages to shut the door and keep Tremini-Michelsen behind.
It was incredible. I just saw these two guys as well being extremely close on the overlay. So these guys have take a number and decide to battle when I am ready, guys. We've talked about it before.
Oh dear. Well, the battle continues between Cruz Sanchez and Tremini-Michelsen for fourth place. Look at that side by side again. Jerry Hodge from the States, Elliot Alderson with us right behind him is Rudy Arvesland and Green as well. So goodness me.
This is a lot of carbon fiber that can have a lot of bent parts after this race. They are really battling it hard here, and we have seen Jerry actually got his breaking point correct here. Just Elliot looking a little bit in there, but he had issues. We've had a change of position. Change of position. John has passed, and he has also put in the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a look at that pass.
Yes, let's do that. So push to pass being used by John Petterunner from third place along the Wellington Straight and up. Easy move, well, comparatively easy move on the inside of Brooklands. I think Eric knew that one was coming, but long way to go yet. We're only a quarter of the way through the race, and you know Eric is going to glue himself to the back of the number 83 to continue that battle for second.
Yeah, and if we have to be honest, it might have been a little bit where Eric was like, it was mine last time. I'm sorry, and decided, all right, I'm not gonna defend it this time, but I am gonna overtake you again. That might be his way, and maybe also just I can save a little bit of fuel going into the slipstream, and if you can do that, then you can save a little bit in the pits if they are gonna fuel up, and you might actually be get less use on everything, so and you get more lap time out of just being in the slipstream, but you also use more tires, so it's a bit of both, but you would definitely be in front. But he's losing time here. Peter's definitely having the pace on Eric.
Very true indeed. And this battle hasn't really abated at all, has it? Along with this one. Coming back to Rudy Arvesland, now in 8th position. So challenging, still in 8th position, challenging Elliot Alderson, who's fallen a little bit off the back of Jerry Hodge. So you can see a gap definitely forming there between the American and the Dutchman. So Rudy Arvesland now, is he going to be able to muscle his way past Elliot for 7th place? There is Green, not too far behind. I'm not just referring to the colour of his livery, that is his surname. He's a little bit further back in 9th place with Everin Imre. Oh, what a shame for him. That one mistake dropped him from a real strong battle for a very strong finish. Either way, still just under 30 minutes to go. Still plenty of battles. Bearing in mind, as Nick Domino was saying earlier, we have a pit stop to serve. It's up to the drivers when they serve it. So that still has its part to play. And the pit lane here is an unusual one because you do cut out a few corners, but it's surprisingly long here in Silverstone.
Yeah, and you can. Somebody has been also definitely had some change in positions.
What has happened?
Jason Green is going into the pits. That is why. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my overlay will have a field day with me today because they are gonna overtake and then they're gonna fall down again, and it's just flashing red and green on my overlay when everybody's making a pass. I'm like, this is a position, this is a position. So this is gonna be great, but these three are still battling it out, and Elliot is still getting closer and closer here. He will Trying to see, and these are teammates, but they are not pulling any punches.
Well, they're teammates in the sense that they're wearing the same colours. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah.
They are going to fight each other hard. But here it is Rudy Arvisland that is giving Elliot Alderson all the things to think about as they come through comps once more. Oh, I thought Rudy may have gone a little bit too deep there, but no, he hangs on to that 8th place for the time being, as they are still staring at the back of Jerry Hodge. The Jerry can't really do anything there. Essentially, Elliot is acting as rear gunner to his American teammate. How much team play is going on here is remaining to be seen, as now Arvidsson gets the side-by-side coming into Stowe, but he is on the outside line. That's not going to hold. It's not going to cut back underneath Elliot either, as Elliot's going to have the inside line once again coming down to the Vale chicane. Just about slows that one down and remains in 7th place.
I think Jerry's actually a bit faster, but he keeps on making log-ups and small mistakes, and that is really what keeps these two in the battle here. And I will say to you, yeah, sometimes you have that where you're like, oh, as we see more log-ups there, where you don't battle your teammate. But I will say I had one of my teammates in the past that I never went to overtake, because if I made a mistake there, that would be bad, and that is the crazy Scotsman. You had to accept when Andrex were in front of you or behind you. That was you had to respect that.
Oh, I was never ahead of Andrex. I was his teammate a few times in my meager sim racing lifetime, but yes, it was inevitably behind. The mighty Andrex. God, he was quick.
Yeah.
He was amazingly quick in his day. Alas, doesn't sim race anymore. A great loss to sim racing. But look at Arvidsland. He is so close. He knows what colour underwear that Elliot Alderson is wearing at the moment, and hustling hard for that 7th place. Now, is he being held up? He's certainly challenging hard. He's used a bit of push to pass recently, hence why the green light is flashing. That will go solid once again. Slipstream enabled. This time he's got the inside line for Stowe. Now, is Eddie Alderson able to maintain the momentum? He gets back ahead, and he does. He maintains that 7th position. He's now going to have the inside for the next corner. Oh, that's somebody else going into the pits. So,
Evan is in the pits.
Aha, the other crazy Scotsman in the pits. So another pit stop being served. Not far off halfway, a couple of laps away from the halfway marker. So yeah, the tower will get somewhat confused. Oh, that's too deep. That's too deep for Alderson. He's cracked under the pressure. He's not. Oh, that was somewhat of a desperate scramble to get the inside line for the loop. He's just about going to hold on to it for the inside of Aintree. Now they went to straight Arvidsland with the momentum on the racing line coming into Brooklands. And, well, Ali Alderson didn't give up on that one. He manages somehow to hang on to that 7th place.
And meanwhile, while these are battling, Jerry is just gone away. He has a gap of 2.4 seconds down to them, so is really losing time at the moment for Rudy. So, as we have had, unfortunately, a little bit of an incident. I will take that in a little bit, as this battle is still marching on here. Let's see if they can keep it clean. Oh, they can. So let's see what has happened on the Ole. It is Mr. Evan, and
he's just come out the pits as well. Oh! Touch the grass on the outside line. Cold tyres. Not. Yeah, that's never going to go well, as Rudy Arvidsland has now chosen this moment to come in, along with, I think that was Green, was it?
That was Beckman.
That was Fred Beckman that's come in.
I think Jason Green, he's all the way down here, I think. Oh, he has done his pit stop. So,
Jason Green's already been in. Okay. Yeah. There is Rudy Arvidsland finding his imaginary pit crew. Adri Garcia on the back of Andres Ansu. So we haven't looked at these two, but these two locked in a battle for what is going to be 9th position at the moment. Of course, pit stop's going on. That is going to jumble the order a little bit. They're fighting.
Jerry has been off. What has happened to Jerry? Has that been a little bit too eager?
Yeah, too much outside line on the exit of the loop. And that's almost a carbon copy of what Evan did.
Yeah.
So,
Evans was just cold tires. This is just, dirty tires. And you don't want anything on those, as Beckman is going to show. Oh, he's just him getting out of the pits. So it will bug me on that one as well. Thank you. As Mikkelsen is not really being able to overtake Cruz Sanchez here in for P4. They have been in a battle for quite a long time as well. So this might be a time where Mikkelsen could say, all right, I'm gonna go in, pit, get some new rubber on, and go out there and see if I can actually be faster without him in front. And sometimes you actually need that carrot in front of you that really pushes you those 2-3 tenths more. And now I have to say him again, Mr. Andrix. If any of these cars had any ping on them, they would automatically have been 2 tenths faster.
Yeah, he was always a proponent for the pink livery, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I do seem to also remember that Mr. Andrix was not a fan of single seaters.
No.
His forte was most definitely GTs.
Yeah.
Although ironically, one of the first series I commented on, which was that's Keith Lewin coming backwards out of the pit lanes. I'm assuming then he's floored it straight after the pit. Yep. As soon as the pit lane speed limiter has gone off, he's just lit up the tires and round he went. There he goes.
And without hitting the wall. That is impressive. That is impressive. That is really impressive.
But those tires are going to be horrible for a little while.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he is
unfortunately, Keys. Yeah. Unfortunately, Keys. Your slightly embarrassing moment is now on stream forever and a day.
Yes. And we have paused and being able to rewind as well. So we were.
Yep.
Yeah. We got it all. Because we had to.
Yeah.
And that is a most spectacular way to get out of the pits and actually spin. I don't think I have ever seen anybody go around there and not just going around there, but not hitting the wall as well. That is impressive.
That is very true. And these cars aren't short either, so that was very precision spinning at its best.
Yeah. We have had more.
We continue to see Fernando Cruz Sanchez and Alexander Tremini Mikkelsen locked in their duel for 4th place.
Definitely, and they are right now the closest battle, as Chris here, he has decided just to say Auf Wiedersehen and see you for the next round.
Yeah.
Right now, and he's 4 seconds ahead of Peter Root here, who has quite commercially just decided to drop Visi by 3 seconds.
There's not many people that can do that. There is not many people that can, challenge and, quite comprehensively beat Eric Visi. Yes, we still have just under half the race to go. I grant you. We know how good Eric Visi is. A very seasoned racer as Keith Van Leeuwenhoek. Oh, dear. Is that the ball?
Oh, that's the wall.
Oh, no. And out of pure frustration, immediately retires the car. I mean, not like he had a choice. Yeah, just flirted with the grass, sadly, on the exit of the chapel. And there it is.
That's a fast one. And, that's a big hit as well.
When you have a moment like that, you know full well what the outcomes are going to be. You hit the brakes and you hope, but you know. You know you're fast lining to the scene of the accident as Cruz Sanchez and Tremini Mikkelsen in together. Well, they both did pit crews changed in exactly the same way because they came out with negligent difference between them. Negligible difference, not negligent. Sorry, wrong word. So, and they actually have another playmate in there. Who's that? Oh, it's Jerry. Very odd. So, so he's gained as a result of pitting earlier. And his tires were already...
Jerry...
Oh, no, he hasn't pitted.
He spun. That's why he's down here. And
right, he hasn't pitted yet.
And these two were so close, and somehow he has decided to be in the middle of it. And
I'm not sure that's a decision, per se.
I hope not, because that's definitely not a place that I would be. But right now he needs to get by Cruciantis, because Cruz is on cold tires. So if you want to get that pass, this is the time, because in Lapa 2 he will have worse tires than the guys that he's battling right now. So he needs to get close on to it.
It did look like Jerry was thinking about that coming into Cox, but I think he kind of bowed out of that. Didn't fancy trying to go side by side there. His Cajon is slightly less concrete. I would say he's probably less stupid to actually try and move there, because that you would, if you're going to try and move into Cox, you have to commit to it way earlier than that. So I think he was quite wise, and it looked like he had a bit of overspeed there into Stone. Now he's deciding to pit by the look of that. So yeah, that's again another reason why he wasn't getting involved in the fight. He knew he was coming in. Again, I think that's quite sensible driving. At the moment, though, Eric Vizzy leading the way. I'm assuming that is because Chris has pitted. There he is. So he's either pitted or he's spun.
He is pitted.
He is pitted, yep.
As well as John.
John Pedrunda is at around 4.7, 4.8 seconds behind our former race leader. What's Eric? Oh, there is Jerry. We just saw him coming in.
Again, that overlay. It's just going up and down over here. I'm just like
Rudy Arvisland on the back of Jason Green. This is for sixth place, I believe.
And Green has really had a great race, and he pitted quite early on.
He was one of the first to pit, I think.
Yeah, and he has really used it quite a lot. Now he's up to P6. We saw him P10, 11, battling with Evan Imre before his pit stops. So
good.
Yeah, so that's a great strategy from him, using the advantages of new tires early on. But will it bite him in the behind afterwards, because his tires will then be worse when we get closer to the end?
Well, Jason's season has been, certainly the second half of it seems to have really come good. It was a DNF and a 9th in the opening round at Monza, which obviously wasn't ideal. There was a 7th and a 10th at Road Atlanta, then a 5th and a 7th at Austria, and then a 3rd and a 4th last time out at Watkins Glen. So it's been steadily on the up for Jason Green, whereas Rudy Arvisland's had a bit less of a consistent season, though 9th and a 5th last time out at Watkins Glen, so a decent haul of points for Rudy. So puts him into 7th in the championship. Jason is in 4th in the championship at the moment. So his next rival is Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen, who is some way down the road to him at this point in the race. Still 14 and a half minutes to go. So we are over halfway, well over halfway now. We're about 2/3 of the way through the race. And still plenty of positions to decide, as now Rudy has got the push to pass going, and that's how much of a difference it makes. So he really is quite a push, and I think Jason let Rudy go there. There didn't seem to be an awful lot of defense, so either Jason's biding his time or he's deciding that Rudy is not his main adversary at the moment.
Yeah, I think so as well, as on the front end of the race. We have Chris here. We have to show him sometimes, just so that you guys actually know that he do exist out here, in the blue rocket. I have asked before, and I really want him to have a livery on that car, or otherwise we will just call him the Smurf. Then we have John in P2, and he is 4 seconds off. So he's not letting Chris just by here. We have seen Chris sometimes win by 10-15 seconds, so it's not a walk in the park. But then here Vizzy, who is still 4 or 5 seconds off, he's losing more and more time and is not really able to hang on here. And on this last lap here, where the guys have got new rubber on, Chris got on and did a 36.5, and then immediately Rude did a 36.2. So he is actually gaining a little bit, but with a gap of 3 seconds and only 12 minutes, he needs to get more out of out of Chris, and I'm not sure you're gonna get that.
Very true, but as we've seen, mistakes can happen at any time and at any place in the track. We now look at, we mentioned Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen, I did briefly, as he's chasing Fernando Cruz Sanchez, who is having a very strong race. I think he's not had a great season thus far, so just trying to find him. There he is. Yeah, I mean,
He had a great start to the season. I believe as Beckman is looking to be closer and closer to that is on.
He hasn't finished since.
No,
unfortunately. So now, obviously that's cost the Spaniard a lot of positions on the championship, but he's looking pretty strong at the moment. Yeah, Elliot Alderson and Frederick Beckman. Their battle for 8th place continues. Elliot Alderson, the Dutchman, fending off the advances. Oh, Beckman had the run, but didn't have the space to try and get that move done. Oh, getting up close and personal in the braking zone of the Vale chicane. Now down towards Club. Not too far behind is Evan Imre with 4 seconds to go. Oh, did you see the snap there from Frederick Beckman? That was a very big one. He caught that very quickly and somehow didn't lose any particular space to Elliot Alderson.
Yeah, he's getting close here, and he is a bit faster. We saw him on the lap before doing a 37.6, so he's able to do a second faster, but right now he is just getting caught up, and he is getting the push to pass. Is he gonna go the outside route? No, he's braking a bit earlier so he can get the under and over, and again here try to see if he can get the exit into Cop's corner and see if he can get by with the big Cajonas move, or is he just gonna stay behind here? Oh, he's just looking. Nope, deciding off it, and that has actually made his exit a bit worse, and he's now lost a bit of time there. As I can see, Chris has just posted the fastest lap with a 36.2. So only
because he needs more of a gap.
Yeah, but it's less than a tenth on the last lap between those two, so they are quite close at the top.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that is impressive. Chris has just walked off with the last couple of races, and John being able to keep within a tenth or two each lap that's impressive, and something he will take with him for maybe the next round, that the German can actually be rattled a little bit. You can get close to him, and if you get close enough, we don't know if he is can get rattled enough to actually pass as well. So let's see. They're getting closer to him, as Mikkelsen is looking to lose a little bit of ground to Cruz Sanchez. I had to.
Oh, bit deep there for Tremino Mikkelsen coming through Cops. That's could well have earned him a off-track warning there. Either way, continuing along his merry way. Push to pass still active. We haven't seen any red push to pass lights so far in this race. We did see Eric Vizzi actually expend all of his available push to pass in the sprint race, so not feeling the need to dump every single bit of power he's got thus far. Gets a bit closer under braking, but not close enough for the 5th place car to challenge the Spaniard.
Oh, the ugliest car we have. I just saw that he got off track on off track on off track.
Ooh! Oh dear. That's there he goes.
Oh.
He's gone to so that had gone all kinds of wrong. That went all kinds of wrong in all kinds of places with Jack Caulfield.
Yeah, that's not great. As I can see in chat that Ludwin he's saying that's a great stream, guys. Even he's a bit frustrated being out of the race, as we saw him lose the car there. And yeah, it was a great race, and you had a great sprint race, and unfortunately, you know, the feature race didn't go your way, and we are looking forward to see you next time out.
Very true indeed. A great shame to see one of the best liveries in the field not on track at the moment. But what we are enjoying at the moment is Fernando Cruz Sanchez defending against Alexander Tremino Michelsen, the two longest names in the field, arguing for the first non-podium spot. What can we expect here? That's Tremino Michelsen chasing up to the back, but breaks a little bit earlier than the Spaniard does, coming into Stowe. Wow, I mean, look how much gap that cost him alone. He seems to reel him in on the straighter bits, but possibly not as effective in the corners as his prey. Michelsen continues his chase for fourth with 5 laps to go. There it is, confirmed on the tower. Well, we are drawing this race drawing to a close. The top 3 positions seem to be set at the moment, but if any one of them has a big moment, it could well spell disaster for their podium challenge.
Oh, definitely, and this is definitely the battle for to be the best of the rest, as the podium contenders, Rosencrantz, Ruud, and Visi is having those 3 positions again. They are the class of the field and has shown it once again, being just out there. But Michelsen and Cruz, they're not to sleep on, and they are battling to see which one of them can, you know, get that covered title of being the best of the rest, as Beckman and Olsen is going side by side. The wrong camera angle for that.
Oh, Jason Green manages to close that door, but immediately the counter attack comes from. Well, actually, no, that's not. I was going to say that's Alderson, not Green. Beg your pardon. There's Beckman defending from Alderson. That is battle for 8th position, and not far behind, I believe that is Evan Imre. It is indeed. So this is 8th, 9th, and 10th in short order. Oh, there we go. That's the Swede of Frederick Beckman, utilising push to pass. Alderson defends the inside line, coming into Brooklands, around the outside for the first part, and then inside line for Luffield. Oh, well defended from Alderson, as much as he could do, with push to pass still active. Or Frederick Beckman claims that 8th for now.
But with only but with only 4 laps to go, this could get really heated, and now it's on cooldown. So now Elliott has his push to pass. He can use it to get up there and try to see if he can overtake. But right now he might actually have to look into the mirrors as Evan is getting closer. Ooh, that's a bit of a snap there, Evan. Wow, that's a brown pants moment as well. He has now had 2 brown pants moments, and we need to sponsor him with a new set of pants for this after this particular race. Wow.
Back out of the business. Change of subject rather quickly. The battle continues for 4th. Cruz Sanchez still versus Tremino Michelsen. No change here yet. The Norwegian cannot yet find a way past the Spaniard for the best of the rest spot. There are 3 laps remaining. The leader has started the next lap. On these 2 go. Intervale once more. But Tremino Michelsen just cannot quite get into position to challenge. Gets close, but cannot quite overcome the pace difference between himself and his prey. He's been staring at the back of that car long enough to probably be able to sketch it from memory. But will he have enough in the tank to challenge in the closing stage of the race? Still not seen anybody with a red push-to-pass light. So everyone's been very conservative with their push-to-passes.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw last time that you have to keep it on to the end. But I think they are definitely getting close to the end here. So Cruz Sanchez is using a lot of his to save his position, because that push to pass is so critical. We saw that Ruud had so much more pace, as Chris has just put in the fastest lap on here with a 36 flat, so 3/10 faster on the last lap. Yeah, of course you have to do that. But that is what he can do when the defending champion has put his tail behind his leg and has decided not to show up. Then you have that option. And I'm calling him out every round, and I keep on as Mikkelsen is using his push to pass. Is he going for the outside here? Oh, nope. He can't do anything about it. Get it into Vale. No. Oh, that's not a place they can overtake on the outside.
He's not getting the best out of the push to pass, though. Is still deployed. You see the light still furiously blinking away. Penultimate lap here in Silverstone for the feature race, but still can't do anything against Fernando Cruz Sanchez, defending brilliantly well, parking his car exactly where it needs to be. So denying the best of that push to pass from Alexander Tremino Mikkelsen. He's going to have to think of another way, and he's only realistically got one more lap because the cooldown from the push to pass is not going to expire for the rest of this one.
Wow, this is a battle that has raged on for the entirety of this race, and they are within 0.2 of a second. Evan is also right now on the hot heels of Elliot Anderson, and he wants that position. Can he convert a P10 into P9 with the race that he has had, almost crashing into the wall? But these two guys, this battle is heating up as Mikkelsen is trying to see if he can get on, but now into the Magnussen's biggest comebacks. This is not where you want to be this close, and he has lost a little bit of time, but now slipstream down the hangar straight, and he is still on cooldown. No, nothing between them here. Now we see Sanchez, he's using his push to pass. Sanchez has decided to use his push to pass. So now is he able to get a little bit of a gap here? He is on to the final lap right now. As Jerry's crashed. Jerry's crashed. What has happened here? Oh, no.
Oh, no. Another car. Well, that was a small nudge, but what a shame. Yeah, push the pass utilizing too many horses down to the tarmac.
Oh, that's crabbing.
Oh, that's a horrible. Hopefully he's not going to try and finish with that car crabbing like that. Both of the guys involved in the battle for fourth with their push to pass running. There is Alderson and Imre. Oh, how was that not impact between the Dutchman and the Scot? I do not know. Oh, Evan, you nearly had a co-pilot in your car there.
That was extremely close, but the man of the race, the class, just the master of this race, Chris Rosenkrantz, the blue Smurf. He is now using all of his push to pass as well, getting on here, and he will win the feature race.
That he will. No question who the class of the field was, but John Petterunda, much stronger performance on this occasion. He'll be kicking himself, especially harder now with the... Oh, there's a red push to pass by Eric Vizzi. I think his ran out. So he did really push that button hard towards the end. But the podium 3 settled, and Chris Sanchez comes across the line with his last push to pass as well. That light now extinguished on his car, getting home in fourth place. There are, I think, quite a few positions uncontested, but Evan Imre still having to defend for his spot inside the top 10 from Elliot Alderson. I think that's going to be the last chance for Elliot to try and pass, unless Evan goes too far wide, which, of course, the wily old fox doesn't do. Across the line comes Evan. Well, what might have been were it not for those spinning moments. And Anders Onsu will get to the flag this time. I don't think he finished the sprint race, but he's the last car running on the lead lap. I thought he was coming into the pits there, but everyone else has either finished or retired. Is Jerry still running?
No, he has decided.
No, he did retire his car. So Ansu does indeed come over the line. That is your last car of the race. Wow. That's fantastic. This is why we love Silverstone. So before any Stewart's intervention, it is Chris Rosenquist with another win under his belt. John Pedro in second. Eric Vizzi, another podium for him. Fernando Cruz Sanchez, a very strong result for the Spaniard. Alexander Tremillo Michelson, brilliant effort, but couldn't quite wrestle that fourth away from his prey. Then Rudy Harveston, Jason Green, Frederick Beckman, Evan Imre, and Elliot Alderson round out your top 10. Andres Onsu, the last car on the lead lap, and the rest of the cars that didn't see the flag were Jerry Hodge, Jack Colville, Adri Garcia, Keys Van Leeuwen, and Philip Kip.
What a race. And
What a race.
This is also where we have to cut the stream short, ladies and gentlemen.
We do.
As
we
I
do.
have to run. King, thank you for joining me here in the box. And,
pleasure as always.
And trying to see if we can get through a stream without any chaos. We have tried to keep it going, but yeah, I hope everybody has enjoyed it.
I'm sure so. Well, you know where to find us for the next round. Where are we? Where are we next time? I see an Italian flag. Where are we next time, sir?
Oh, let me just see, as I have the calendar here on in a little bit. Let's see if we can get it on here. We are at Monza next time.
Excellent. So the Temple of Speed is where the next round will do battle. Please do join us for the Italian Classic next week here at AOR. Until next time, thank you very much and good night.